hate farming, misinformation, and context, all three of which are key components that come after a drama, and I believe it's extremely important to address them following any given situation. Ever since the whole drama happened in the first place, people have been talking about the situation for content, which is totally fine. The way people do it is mostly okay. However, there are some people in particular who use this as an excuse to either A, bully/hate on me, or B, others related to the situation. And of course, after calling it out on stream, all of the comments that were related to the situation were immediately deleted, despite them being hearted and even pinned on the YouTube video. Regardless of that, the damage is still done, and throughout every single community, it spews up random bullshit messages like this and results in me having a bad image in these people's minds, regardless of what I.
Kingsman is back in the middle of chaos again after dropping a video on his channel called My Last Time Addressing This. In that video, he stands his ground and fires back at wild claims made by Marvel Rivals creators, including Pick and Roll and Mike's Above You, and the accusations coming out of this mess are seriously over the top. Pick and Roll went as far as acting like $3,000 isn't a lot of money, which instantly rubbed people the wrong way. Meanwhile, Mike completely switched sides and turned on Kingsman, straight up betraying him in public. This whole situation just keeps spiraling, with new drama stacking up instead of dying down. Kingsman decided enough was enough, which is why he dropped that video late last night addressing everything tied to the original situation involving CC, Lucy, ASA, and Zostax.
For context, I've played against and with Pick and Roll. I've lost to him, beat him multiple times in a row. However, it's not until after this situation that all of a sudden a mini-series is created on me versus him, which, regardless of the intention, creates its own set of problems with harassment in both parties. And I think this comment sums it up pretty perfectly right here, with an artificially created best of 3, and on top of that, even going to a 4th game, which is totally fine. However, it leads to constant rage baiting and misinformation being said from one chat to another, leading to me calling Quad Pick and Roll's PR agent. Let me see what Quad wants you to say, bro. I know, he's gotta be like Pick's PR agent, dude. Such rage bait, it's fucking insane. And to be honest, I completely agree with that statement. The constant rage bait from chat, and because within hours of me losing a game to Pick and Roll, it is immediately brought into the spotlight, put on his channel. However, if the exact opposite happens, not only is it completely swept under the rug while he's there in Pick and Roll's chat, so I know he's watching the stream, and the subject is being entirely changed. Either way, I want to give a quick example of how misinformation can be spread so fast, especially when you're a streamer, and why it's so important that before making any official statements online that you have your proper facts correct. And surprisingly enough, what I'm about to show is actually the originator of why I even created the YouTube video in the first place, to defend against baseless stuff like this. I will not be posting this on any other platform as I don't want to spread this further, but I still do want to say my piece. So here is a small segment from Pick and Roll's initial reaction to me getting kicked out of the tournament.
He wasn't trying to start anything new. He was clearly trying to shut the noise down and protect his name. Even though around 90% of the internet was already backing Kingsman, there was still a loud group riding hard for the girls. One moment that blew up was a tweet from Raven, who mocked Kingsman for calling the #1 DPS player in the world lost, even though it was obvious he was joking and engaging in playful trash talk. Anyone who actually plays the game could tell that exchange was normal banter between skilled players. Community notes even pointed out that Raven follows Cece, the main person pushing the drama, and was clearly working alongside her to spread false narratives about Kingsman. At this point, the situation should have been over, but CC's circle kept dragging Kingsman's name through the mud just because he came out looking right from the start. That non-stop pressure is exactly why Kingsman finally spoke up again. Not long after, Kingsman introduced Pick and Roll to the story. He's another Marvel Rivals creator who openly took the opposite stance and claimed Kingsman was wrong the whole time. And when you actually look at what Pick and Roll said, it comes off like straight-up misinformation being pushed on purpose.
You're competitive for the sake of content, all right? You cannot tell Zaza that she cannot play her main content character because it will sabotage the competitive aspect. Now, here's the thing, right? Kingsman values competitive over content, but that's not how this tournament is. It's not his fucking tourney. He cannot decide who runs what, bro. He needs to get that through his head. Doesn't matter what rank you are, doesn't matter what accolades you have, doesn't matter what tournaments you've won in the past. That does not fucking matter, bro. That right there, literally 2 seconds. This is my first time seeing this clip. He just called her ass. He said, if you run your content character for the sake of content, like, we're gonna lose. Which means he does not want her farming content in a content tourney. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
First off, there's this quad guy on TikTok who randomly started a whole Kingsman versus pick and roll series, and Kingsman was clearly not feeling it at all. The timing was crazy too, because those videos only popped up after the tournament drama when everyone was suddenly chasing attention and trying to boost their own numbers off Kingsman's name. Kingsman even straight up joked that Quad was acting like Pick and Roll's personal PR agent because of how hard he was pushing content that hyped Pick and Roll non-stop. The wild part is, the moment Kingsman and Pick and Roll finally played each other, Kingsman lost, and just hours later Quad was already flooding TikTok with clips about it. That kind of speed had people raising eyebrows, like this dude was waiting on standby. Kingsman even reacted to clips of Pick and Roll talking about the drama, and right away, it was obvious this guy wasn't really locked in on the facts. Pick and Roll tried claiming the tournament was content first, competition second, but that argument fell apart instantly. There was $40,000 on the line, and once that kind of money is involved, it's no longer just fun vibes and highlights. People are out here struggling, so of course players are going to take it seriously. Then Pick and Roll started talking from a competitive standpoint and openly criticized gameplay decisions, which directly contradicted his whole relaxed attitude. One of his takes was that if Za kept playing Black Widow, the team was guaranteed to lose. And honestly, that's exactly the issue. Going winless on a character with high ping is a clear sign it's time to switch, especially when serious money is involved. Kingsman never insulted anyone the way Pick and Roll did. He simply said he spoke to her normally and asked her to swap characters, which is standard in any serious competition. But instead of a calm response, she reportedly replied, "I don't want her," shutting everything down immediately. That reaction stalled the whole team, and Pick and Roll somehow still believes good vibes alone can win a $40,000 tournament. That mindset just doesn't match reality at all. Kingsman basically said, "What kind of content are we even talking about here when someone is running around with 0 kills? Like, it made no sense at all. This wasn't about farming content in a content tournament. This was about not wanting to lose $3,000 because someone on the team was clearly not taking things seriously." Someone in the comments said it perfectly, and their words hit hard. It stopped being a content tourney the moment a cash prize was introduced.
Fundamentally, at a competitive level, I completely understand Kingsman, by the way. Like, I get what he's saying.
I get Kingsman too. Like,
yeah,
I want to win the money.
I think everybody understands what he's saying, but the way he's fucking doing it is just wrong. Like, it's just fucking incorrect, by the way. Like, it's just terrible. This is just not how you go about what he's doing at fucking all. That is just not how you do it, bro. Like, nobody communicates with their team like this by joining up, and the first thing you say is, "Yeah, she's a weak link, get rid of her."
And honestly, that shouldn't even be debatable. The fact people are still arguing this is wild. If the goal was purely fun and vibes, then there shouldn't have been a prize pool at all. Or at the very least, it should have been set up as a charity tournament where winning doesn't directly line pockets. Once real money gets added, everything changes instantly. The more Pick and Roll talks, the more it feels like he's either extremely biased or just refusing to see what's right in front of him. Some people think he's salty because Kingsman blew up online, and that resentment is bleeding into his takes. Pick and Roll tried claiming Kingsman never spoke to his teammates calmly and just snapped right away, but that's straight up false. Kingsman literally showed footage from draft day, before the tournament even started, where he talked with Za Stacks about which characters she could play.
Endpoint proven right now. Do you understand?
No, it's
Well,
not.
you've been making
Yes,
me play
it
shit.
is.
Of course I'm gonna
How
play.
do you not see the problem right now?
Okay? Yeah,
Like, what is it?
right?
You're winning, bro.
Competitive. That's the thing.
Well,
Competitive
dead
aspect.
asking
He
you
is
to, like,
right.
shut the fuck up.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Competitive aspect. Right, chat? He is correct. Widow is not going to work into every comp. It is going to be very difficult to play around. However, he just won the round.
It's like I
By
get
hard
it,
carrying. He just won
but
the round
like
by hard
he's
carrying.
18-2. Like I'm not.
Like-
I'd be like, I'm doing this shit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
like
like-
you gotta understand. You're against the rank one.
Why,
veteran,
like
you're
you
against City,
can't
like-
bash, you cannot bash Zaza for this, bro. You're not in a ranked lobby, chat. This is not a ranked lobby. That is not a random teammate in ranked where they're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna swap Widow. Fuck you."
I'm
Bruh,
not
like-
swapping up with Black
Yeah.
Twitter.
and you're just sitting there like, "Oh, I have this shit to throw on my team," right? Zaza's a part of your fucking team. You have to act like it no matter what, bro.
11-1, 11-3.
Like you have
Yeah.
to act like it no matter what,
But
bro. Like
they
you
won
got
the
invited
round.
to this tournament, bro. This is not your tourney. Like it does not
Okay,
matter.
bro.
I can't
You
lie.
see, Zaza is 0-5, but we won the point, bro. Why? Because
True,
they're,
facts.
Like,
Facts.
four of their util, 4 of their resources.
Holy
are
shit, I don't
all
care. Right?
spent
Why are you shitting on her
Zaza.
instead of gassing yourself? Exactly, bro. Just be like, I'm the fucking king. Just be like, I might be the king.
I'm the fucking goat.
Just be like, I might be the king. Look, even his chat is literally saying, Kingsman, stop, bro. You don't crash out on them, bro. They're saying, Kingsman, stop. Because this is not how you treat your teammates in a tournament, bro. This is just not how you treat them. Again,
She clearly said she could play other characters. That's why Kingsman was heated mid-tournament, because when it mattered most, she refused to switch off Widow despite earlier saying she had options. That detail alone makes Pick and Roll's argument fall apart, because it proves communication happened beforehand. Once again, misinformation keeps getting pushed like it's fact. Then Pick and Roll claimed Kingsman called Za the weak link, which just didn't happen. The comment was actually about Lucy Raza. And the irony is crazy because Kingsman never personally insulted anyone this whole time. Meanwhile, the girls on the team were openly coming at him non-stop, all because he asked for a character swap in a competitive match. To top it off, one of Pick and Roll's friends jumped in and tried downplaying the prize pool, saying, well, it's not really $40,000 for the winners. Even then, first place was still around $20,000. Second got $15,000, and the rest was split up. No matter how you slice it, that's still serious money on the line. Now sure, whatever the team wins gets split between like 6 players, right? But at the end of the day, each person on the winning team still walks away with around $3,000, which is real money no matter how you spin it. But then this guy in the clip tries to argue that Kingsman is already rich, so $3,000 means nothing to him, which is just ridiculous. Even if someone is doing well financially, $3 grand is still $3 grand. Acting like it's pocket change is wild. This dude was talking like he's Kingsman's personal accountant or something, saying, oh, it's nothing to him. Like, bro, what are we even doing right now? The world is upside down when people are seriously saying players should be okay with losing $3,000 like it's spare change. Extra money like that can change a lot for people, and pretending otherwise is pure nonsense. Acting like caring about that amount is somehow wrong is absolute insanity.
Me mad, bro. We're playing against Naked team. This is their team. The only difference is one support player, bro. We won! Shut up now, bro. Like, I'm tired of it. This is fucking getting annoying and you're making Zaza sad. Like, it's not gonna happen. She's gonna play Black Widow, so just shut up for 2 seconds and just play this goddamn sprint. Like, I don't get it.
W team captain, W team captain. WC, no, W
Concerned about their dive.
I mean, to be fair, he has been complaining for the past fucking 2 hours.
And they've been winning, and they've been fucking winning, and they've been winning. I mean, bruh, I mean, dude. I don't think she. I don't think you should have scolded him like that, but.
Oh. Grown ass man, you need to wake up. Grown ass man. Have some respect.
We're all dead.
Besides rage reading him, that's the only time he speaks.
Sorry, is that it? Is CC your duo, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about like she's gonna play Black Widow. Like shut up about it. Just competitive. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just
There's
think
nothing wrong with it.
just be like, yo, Zaza, what else do you play? Because here's the thing, right? The first thing that I did when I had teammates that
I crossed the line of professionalism. How?
That's true.
This is competitive hero shooter. People.
Which is like kind of true. Like he was kind of that, like I was saying, being kind of passive aggressive.
Now, in this clip, Kingsman actually wins the round, but Za goes 0-5 during it. So like any logical teammate in a competitive match, he says something along the lines of, hey Za, Black Widow isn't working right now, can you swap? That's normal competitive talk. But nope, no switch happens. Pick and Roll then tries to defend it by saying, this isn't ranked, while completely ignoring the fact that Za literally said, I'm not swapping off Black Widow. Kingsman even slowed the clip down and replayed it, making it crystal clear. Then Pick and Roll reads a viewer comment saying, why is he complaining about Za? He won the round, just gas yourself up. But let's be real, if Kingsman started hyping himself up and saying he's the best, people would instantly flip it and call him egotistical.
Claims myself and other creators have been doing nothing but clout farming, drama farming, and most importantly, hate farming him since his big situation with the Marvel Rivals tournament. The main content of this video is just going over my VOD in which I originally covered the situation live on stream. However, he does so extremely dishonorably, cutting out very key clips from my VOD that show my true opinions. He also adds edits that are blatant lies in order to make me look even worse. This is because his main intention is to weaponize his platform and get as many people as he can to start bashing me for a fake opinion that isn't even mine. And if you think I haven't been preparing my full clips and facts in order to bring the truth to light, you are wrong. Kingsman continues to number 1, lie to his viewers. Number 2, take any type of accountability for anything he did wrong during the tournament situation. And number 3, act disrespectful and egotistical to anybody in the Rivals creator scene. However, due to a lack of context, he is treated like an angel that can do no wrong. A huge platform does not scare me, nor do I give a fuck about any of your sexist fans coming after me in my comments. Here is my side disproving your lies and giving you nothing but the facts. This all started about a month ago when Kingsman's original video about being kicked with over 3 million views has a portion falsely accusing me of hate farming. Here is the clip from that.
It's unfortunate because I don't want him to have to suffer because of this. I go into Pick and Roll stream, by the way, and he's like LARPing or something like that. I like said some crazy shit, like insane
Well,
shit.
yeah, that's what I was like told by everyone.
Exactly, bro. I'm telling you, that's where it originated. It's Pick and Roll.
So, after seeing this clip, I decide to privately DM him. One of his favorite lies to tell on stream is that if you ever have a problem with him, to avoid drama farming, just message him privately.
I always try and be as genuine as possible. There's other issues I've had with other people. We work them out in DMs all the time. Like, it's just this.
However, in his video, he briefly flashed our DMs on screen and didn't even read over any of them. So I will be doing that in this video. So I messaged Kingsman asking him to explain the clip because I was very confused as to why he thought I was hate farming him. I told him, no LARP, it's a serious situation, which pretty much means I'm not kidding. Obviously, if I were trying to drama farm, I would have immediately jumped on this opportunity to make a video seeing he was blowing up and all. But instead, I messaged him privately because this is a relationship I care about maintaining. His response is, bro, you were hard LARPing when I turned your stream on, fuck you mean, with a crying emoji. Which pretty much tells me he's not taking this seriously at all, even though this is a conversation in private. So I asked him, did you watch like 2 seconds? I legit empathized with you and then said where you were wrong, similar to your conversation with Entei. In no way did I originate trying to hate farm you. Why would I do that? Again, he gave me a very lazy, yeah, of course, which, what is that even in response to? Like, I can't go anywhere with that. So that was the end of our conversation regarding that. It led nowhere, and Kingsman clearly did not care about, any type of misunderstanding between us in private. So there's that for anyone trying to say that I'm drama farming or I just wanted to make a video. I tried to resolve it in private, but Kingsman obviously thought he was way above that.
That's why this clip matters, because people absolutely clowned Pick and Roll for this take. You could tell he wanted to say something like, this isn't how you treat women, but he stopped himself because it would have sounded forced and fake. And it's not just one person thinking that either. You can check the comments under his video. People saw right through it. He clearly wanted to play the moral angle. But even if he did say that, how would that argument even make sense here? Asking a teammate to swap characters in a high-stakes competitive match isn't disrespect, it's basic teamwork. Telling a teammate to swap characters in a competitive tournament with $40,000 on the line is not disrespecting women, period. That's called trying to win. Gender has absolutely nothing to do with it. If it was a guy going 0 to 5 on high ping, the exact same criticism would apply, and honestly, he'd probably get cooked even harder. But Pick and Roll keeps framing basic competitive feedback as misogyny, trying to turn it into some fake moral emergency. And let's be real, it just isn't one. This is about performance, not feelings, and pretending otherwise is crazy. Don't worry though, we're almost done with this Pick and Roll saga, thank goodness, because listening to his takes is genuinely exhausting. I'm not trying to spread hate or be disrespectful here, but like someone said in the comments on Kingsman's video, Pick and Roll sees the problem, admits the problem exists, then somehow blames Kingsman anyway. For example, when CC is going at Kingsman mid-tournament, Pick and Roll praises her and calls it W team captain, even though she was being straight up aggressive toward him. But then, when Kingsman calmly asks Za to switch characters, suddenly that's crossing a line. How does that logic work at all? It makes zero sense. The double standard is wild. Pick and Roll even claimed Kingsman was being passive-aggressive, while ignoring the fact that the girls on the team were openly aggressive toward him, telling him to shut up and calling him a loser. Yet somehow, in Pick and Roll's world, Kingsman is still the bad guy, and like one commenter said under Kingsman's video, I never knew who Pick and Roll was until this. He made a terrible first impression. That sentiment popped up over and over again. Again, I'm not trying to be rude or attack anyone personally. This is just internet drama. But nearly everything Pick and Roll says either doesn't line up with the facts or directly contradicts his own arguments. And unfortunately, this isn't the end of it yet. Pick and Roll decided to make his own response to all this, and we still have to go over that next. So Pick and Roll drops a video on his channel titled Kingsman 265 is lying to you, and the thumbnail straight up calls Kingsman a liar. Right away, you already know what kind of energy he's coming with. Before even getting into the video, people immediately peeped the like to dislike ratio, and yeah, it wasn't pretty.
And disprove is the text and editing in his response video that just like is an attempt to make me look terrible while I'm going over the situation. Realize this tournament is content first, competitive second, right? You are competitive for the sake of content, all right? He puts $40,000 tournament, by the way, on screen here to make me look privileged and that I don't care about $40,000 and that I'm just telling him to play for content instead. That is not the case. The most you can win from this tournament is $3,000, which is significantly less than $40,000. I would not be saying to play for content if the most you can win from this tournament was the entire prize pool. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, here is the official prize pool from the tournament. All of these amounts are split between 6 people. And since there are only 8 teams, last place is guaranteed to walk away with $1,200 for your team. This incentivizes content because even if your team does the worst in the tournament, you walk away with some money. And since Kingsman also framed his video to make it look like I thought he didn't need the money, here's a clip disproving that. Our supports were filling.
That's what I'm saying. He's winning like 3K, bro. And for somebody like Kingsman, that's like crazy money.
We're gonna have Spidey on.
Dude, I just hear Simmy just going around the.
I mean, I don't want to assume his revenue or his needs or whatever, bro.
Either, but
I don't think
he has good
we
like
can't know, bro. There's legitimately no way to know how much 3K means to him. Like ours actually. Here is another edit from Kingsman's video that is again a complete lie. You low-key just have to you have to play that, bro. Like that's your teammate, bro. If you try to play around it, which they did, mind you, they found a perfect combo with Dark Child Projectile and Zaza's ultimate that literally burst through support ults, but he says never happened, by the way. Essentially making me look like a liar and that they've never played around Widow and that they've never done the ultimate combo that I'm talking about. The day before this original clip was taken, my team for the tournament scrimmed a best of 3 series against Kingsman's team. Proof that they can play around Widow is the fact that she got MVP every single game for their team. Not only that, here is a clip of the Widow and Magic ultimate combo that I was talking about being used by them. For people that didn't understand the clip, my Rocket, who is dead in front of me, used his support ultimate. However, Kingsman and Zaza both popped their ults right on top of my Rocket, which is a combo that allowed them to kill even though my Rocket used his support ult. Therefore, what I said in the clip did in fact happen and Kingsman just lied about it.
At the time, it was sitting around 500 likes and over 2,000 dislikes, which had the comments going crazy. And no, I'm not disliking it. I'm not here to push negativity. But the comment section was absolutely flaming. You had people saying things like, if $3,000 is such a small amount, then donate it, and others pointing out how the video felt overly scripted. Some viewers even joked that he wasn't looking at the camera once, just staring at his monitor the entire time, which made it feel stiff and forced.
What I want to talk about is an interaction that happened in one of the more recent Marvel Rivals tournaments called the Boker Bash. This is a tournament in which pro players were placed on the same team as content creators. Here is a clip of how Kingsman acted towards Tara, a pro player and streamer who is arguably one of the best DPS players to ever touch this game.
Yo, like,
am I like going insane?
this is a completely different fucking comp than what they were playing against yesterday.
But the game plan remains the same, though.
No, it does. Yes. If they're sitting right here and just sitting on every off angle,
they have one diver.
That doesn't matter if they have one diver. They have so much stuff that they can follow up on that we can't mark. Unless we walk up.
This guy's just
look where Moxie's playing. Can anyone?
Since Tara is VOD reviewing trying to help Kingsman understand the game, Kingsman mutes up and says he's lost in front of thousands of viewers. And here is what was said about how Kingsman treated the rest of the pro players on his team.
How'd you feel about Kingsman saying you don't know anything, you're lost?
I mean, just delusional.
No, but like, he's Kingsman though. He's the king. He's always correct, bro.
I mean, I would have like no problem
really-
with it, but like
I watched, like, half the
he
space of the video.
he just didn't listen to a single person on our team. Like he didn't listen to Crimzo, didn't listen to Kurova, didn't listen to a single person.
Now, this one clip obviously can't prove that he's an egomaniac, but for anyone that's been in a lobby with Kingsman, you have 100% had a similar interaction. After a loss, Kingsman will sit in a replay for hours, telling you about all your mistakes. He rarely ever blames himself, and saying he doesn't have an ego is crazy.
Others brought up how weird it was that he defended a player going 0 to 5 by saying it still had impact, which left a lot of people confused. Again, I'm not here to insult anyone, but the audience reaction was clearly not on his side. I could honestly read comments like these all day. But we've got to move on, because once you get about 3 minutes into the video, Pick and Roll immediately pulls the classic influencer combo. I'm being targeted, I'm being clout farmed, I'm the victim standing up to a big bad creator. And it's like, bro, you could have just apologized and kept it pushing. What makes it even crazier is that he keeps accusing Kingsman of weaponizing his platform, while actively uploading a response video doing the exact same thing. Then there's the DM situation, which honestly doesn't add up. Pick and Roll says, I didn't drama farm, I messaged him privately, which sounds fine at first, but when Kingsman responds in a calm, casual way, Pick and Roll instantly frames it as disrespectful and arrogant. So apparently now, if Kingsman doesn't send a 3-paragraph apology essay, that means he doesn't care and thinks he's above everyone. That's the logic being pushed. The whole thing just comes off messy, inconsistent, and blown way out of proportion, especially when you look at how differently similar behavior is being judged. For me, the biggest red flag is how Pick and Roll keeps saying Kingsman refuses to take accountability while never clearly explaining what Kingsman is even supposed to be accountable for. It's all vague accusations, buzzwords, and talking in circles without landing on anything specific. Let's start with the $40,000 tournament argument, because this is where his logic really starts slipping. He keeps claiming Kingsman edited numbers on screen to make it seem like Pick and Roll didn't care about the money and was pushing a just play for content mindset, but that defense falls apart instantly. Whether the individual payout is $3,000 or $40,000, it honestly does not matter. The tournament was funded, structured, and marketed around real money. Just because the prize is split up doesn't magically turn it into a casual event. Pick and Roll keeps trying to argue that since the prize pool is divided, the tournament is suddenly non-competitive and all about content. That makes zero sense. Money is still the main incentive, and people are obviously going to want to win.
The most important part of this video. I will now be giving my take on the Bosm tournament situation that happened between Kingsman and his team, because there was obviously some misinterpretation from when I initially went over it. CC, Zaza, and Lucy are at fault for responding to Kingsman the way they did. He was clearly trying to win, they should have been more willing to swap and try new things. However, Kingsman also held some fault. He is not exempt from blame. I understand he needed the money, I understand how competitive Kingsman is, I've been playing against him for months. Still, it is a content creator tournament, you have to realize that playing in it is a privilege. That is all. I am happy to see him successful. Him gaining views does not mean I lose views. Again, no reason for me to hate farm him. I wish he understood that and talked to me about it privately in the DMs, but like I said, he obviously wasn't willing. At the time of me making this video, I've already received a wave of negative comments and of course a few threats in my DMs, because people take the situation very seriously, and like I said earlier, they treat Kingsman like he can do no wrong. However, he is not a perfect person. I wish people waited to hear my side of the story, but unfortunately, that's not how the internet is. I don't know why Kingsman chose to target me, but here we are. My only option now is to make this video in my defense and hope that people see it. And to Kingsman, we can hop in a call anytime. You already know I've had nothing but respect for you. And again, I don't know why you chose to make that video, blatantly lying on my name and trying to make me look as bad.
Then he brings up guaranteed money, saying even last place gets paid, but that actually makes his argument worse. That doesn't remove competitiveness, it just keeps creators involved longer. You can still try to win while knowing you won't leave empty-handed. Just because everyone gets a slice doesn't mean nobody cares about getting the biggest slice. That logic is backwards. Then he claims that when he played against Kingsman, Zostax played great and was MVP, and that's fine. She could absolutely be solid on a good day, but when someone starts going 0 to 5, it's completely reasonable to ask for a swap in a competitive match. That's not personal, that's strategy. Anyone would do the same. He also tried saying Kingsman was wrong about a specific play involving an ult combo, which apparently did happen. I'm not deep into Marvel Rivals mechanics, so I'll be fair here. Maybe Kingsman was mistaken on that one moment. But even then, one good play doesn't suddenly mean everything was working perfectly. Hitting a single combo once doesn't prove the overall strategy was solid or that Widow was the right pick long term. One highlight doesn't erase consistent struggles, especially when real money is on the line. Anyone can clip one single moment where things briefly work. That doesn't erase the rest of the matches where the strategy was clearly failing. Pick and roll is nitpicking tiny highlights to dodge the real criticism, which is that the team as a whole was struggling and the plan just wasn't working because someone stayed on Black Widow. We keep going in circles here, and that's because the core issue never gets addressed. Stacks was going 0 to 5 on 200 ping, and that's the actual problem. But instead of confronting that, everyone defending her keeps zooming in on side details that don't change the bigger picture. That's what's frustrating. The people backing the girls don't want to talk about performance at all. They'd rather debate tone, vibes, and random side moments instead of admitting the strategy was bad and needed fixing. Then Pick and Roll tries flipping the narrative by saying Kingsman is a terrible person for calling another competitive player lost, which really wasn't that deep. It was a quick jab, basic competitive trash talk, and Pick and Roll even plays Terror's clip, where Terror doesn't seem bothered at all. But let's be fair for a second. Even if Kingsman was wrong for saying it, and even if Terror didn't like it, that situation has nothing to do with Pick and Roll. That's between Kingsman and Terror, period. So the real question is this: why is Pick and Roll using his response video to paint Kingsman as some awful human being instead of just responding to what Kingsman actually said about him?
On top of that, you have Mike's Above You, who's someone I've queued with for months. Before this whole situation happened, he was on my MRC team. He has been my friend for the longest time. We have casual banter with each other all the time, right? All the time. So if something is wrong, he can easily just message me under any of these circumstances. But instead of that, he chooses to instantly make a video the next day after queuing with one game, blatantly profiting and drama farming off of the whole situation, thinking that it's totally okay because he's seen these types of takes. I'm not spewing baseless bullshit here. Let me give you some examples of what he puts in his video in order to farm sympathy and how it looks so much worse when you are a new viewer as opposed to someone who has been on my streams before and you know why I'm saying these things.
Brother, you better get that fucking GED immediately.
No, I got it. Like,
you got it already?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna go to college, bro.
Wait, what? I thought you were going full-time streaming.
Now this is in reference to the video that he made recently where he quit high school in order to go time with streaming. And you can see how he's literally laughing and we are joking around about the fact because prior to this, I rated him before and I've rated him multiple times. And in one of the times I rated him, he went on a 2 to 3 hour tirade on how streaming is harder than a 9 to 5 and any engineering job you would have. Mechanical engineering, civil, electrical, obviously. So we're clearly joking around about that moment. And although the VOD is deleted because it was a while ago, like I said, we've known each other forever, I still have the image of me sending him a random thermodynamics problem, unedited, which why the fuck would I do that unless it clearly happened, obviously. So we're clearly joking around, which leads to me then calling him a dropout because he...
That's where things start feeling off. Just address your disagreement and move on. There's no reason to drag unrelated moments and other players into it just to make Kingsman look bad. What makes this even more ironic is Pick and Roll's YouTube bio literally says he's trying to make people laugh and spread positivity through gaming, but in this situation, he's doing the exact opposite. Instead of keeping it focused and fair, he's adding negativity and framing everything in the worst way possible. And that right there is why so many people aren't buying his angle at all. This final section is where Pick and Roll tries to sound reasonable, but low-key exposes the entire problem at the same time. He opens it by saying, "This is the most important part of the video," and then delivers the most fence-sitting take imaginable. He finally admits that Cece, Za, and Lucy were wrong in how they spoke to Kingsman, which, cool, I guess. But that's the obvious part that literally everyone already agreed on from the start. That's not some bold revelation. Then, right after that, he instantly pivots to, Kingsman also isn't exempt from blame, without ever clearly explaining what that blame actually is. It's the same vague talking point all over again, just dressed up differently. Next, he pulls the Content Creator Tournament card and says playing in it is a privilege. That framing is wild. You don't get to tell someone who's grinding to win real money that they should mentally treat it like a sponsored brand deal. That argument only exists to excuse refusing to swap characters and underperforming. If this was a random guy doing the same thing, people would be cooking him nonstop and telling him to grow up. But because it's certain creators, suddenly there are excuses. Mental gymnastics and sympathy plays everywhere. The double standard is loud. Then Pick and Roll says, I understand he needed the money. I understand how competitive he is. Which completely contradicts his earlier argument. If you understand those things, then you understand why Kingsman acted the way he did. You can't acknowledge that and still imply Kingsman was wrong for taking the tournament seriously. That logic just doesn't connect. And then comes the victim angle at the end, which honestly feels weak. Suddenly it's, I'm getting hate, I'm getting threats, people treat Kingsman like an angel. It comes off like a last-minute sympathy grab. Instead of owning the flawed arguments, he leans into self-victimization, and that just makes the whole thing feel even more off. That closing section pretty much sums up the entire issue with his response. He opens the video saying, Kingsman is weaponizing his platform, and then ends it crying about getting hate and threats. We see the play, bro. That contradiction alone tells you everything. This ending doesn't clear anything up at all. It's just Pick and Roll trying to sound neutral while still refusing to admit the core issue was actually simple. Kingsman wanted to win. His team didn't. That's it. No deep moral lesson, no big think piece needed. Just a competitive mismatch and bad teamwork. And yeah, it's safe to say Pick and Roll's image took a serious hit here. But we're not done yet. Because in Kingsman's original video, the one played at the start, he also responds to another content creator. This is where Mike's Above You enters the picture. He dropped an entire video talking about his toxic experience playing with Kingsman. And honestly, the whole thing feels strange. From everything that's been said, they were friends for a long time. So for him to suddenly flip, turn around, and upload a full video trying to expose Kingsman and paint him as a villain, that's wild behavior. It feels less like honesty and more like betrayal. And of course, we've got to do the usual routine. Check the like to dislike ratio and peek at the comments. And wow, this one's kind of impressive. Around 3.3 thousand likes, but 3.4 thousand dislikes. So yeah, more dislikes than likes. Again, not spreading hate, just reacting to what's publicly visible. But the comments were not holding back at all. People were calling it a speed run on ruining your image, saying Kingsman was surrounded by fake friends, and pointing out how this went from banter to full-on backstabbing.
Remember that one time when I joined a call with you on stream and I showed you a thermodynamics homework problem and you had to chat GPT it 7 times and it gave you the wrong answer?
Look at this. In his own editing, he puts question marks as if this is something that didn't actually happen. He is literally actively framing this as if I am using some unwarranted random thing that I made up in my mind to his viewers because he knows they do not know the context of the previous streams. It's insane, making it look like I'm actually bullying him for dropping out of high school.
That never happened, actually. I mean, that might happen in like your dreams type shit, but that's not real life.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that one, buddy.
Yo, guys, we all losing this game.
Mike, I'm not gonna queue with you after this game.
Okay, I will play heals if somebody else goes heals. That's the only way I'll play heals.
Mike, we had another healer. You just switched. Dude, no wonder you're losing so many games. Hello?
Bro, I lost because of Lucky's heal.
Alright, bro.
Okay, I
unfortunate, man.
To GM because of Lucky's deal, by the way. God, I'm a fucking support, bitch. GG, what does it come to, guys?
Support. I know the whole thing surrounding your college. What's your major?
Mechanical engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're mechanical engineers, yeah.
Yeah, not this guy. He's a dropout, high school dropout.
What year are you?
No.
Yeah, not this guy. He's a dropout, high school dropout.
Again, without the context, he's literally replaying it to actively make it look like I'm saying some absurd thing right now that is completely disrespecting him when he is falsely claiming to be a mechanical engineer. Then another point with the thing alt. We are in a 4-4 overtime.
Yeah, just clobber on point. I'm ready, Mike. I'm ready.
Everybody.
No one. You got nobody. And they get amp and we lost. Bro, how did you get nobody? What?
Bro, what do you mean? I ulted right now. I ulted 3 people. We lose no matter what. They have Rocket O, bro. I mean, come on. Bro. I mean, let's be FFR. Let's be so free.
And he's actively false calming while literally saying to his own chat that he is not trying or doesn't care, which is cut out, by the way, because of course it is. His own chat is literally calling him out on it after he does this. And he's literally smiling the whole time while giggling and laughing about the situation. I left my own comment on overnight because number 1, would not respond to my messages, number 2, immediately started shit-talking me on stream and made up a bunch of bullshit, which you can go look at his VOD if it's not deleted by now, and number 3, just making up false narratives. Either way, this whole thing just shows me people's maturity and that I need to be more careful after the given situation with A, who I queue with, and B, how I act. Because people have been parading me around like I'm some sort of Marvel Rivals messiah, which I am not. I am a regular person like everybody else. However, I do not appreciate the fact that literally every single person is trying to create something out of nothing in order to get in on the explosion of the recent situation.
A lot of people were genuinely confused, asking how someone could try so hard to paint Kingsman as a villain over what was clearly competitive trash talk. Kingsman ended up dropping a massive response of his own. You can read it if you want, but honestly, he addresses everything directly in his video, which we're about to get into anyway. So there's no need to read every line here, but just looking at how this all ended, one thing is clear: this situation turned into a straight-up betrayal story real fast. From teammates to critics, the switch-up was crazy, and the internet definitely noticed. Honestly, I'm still insanely confused about this whole situation with Mike. I watched his entire video, and it genuinely felt like two longtime friends playing a game, throwing around normal banter, the usual competitive trash talk that dudes say to each other all the time. Somehow, that got flipped into a full video painting Kingsman like some terrible person. I'm not even joking. I was sitting there like, what is actually happening? From my perspective, it just looked like two bros gaming, talking smack back and forth, both giving it, both taking it. Yeah, it was toxic banter, but it was mutual. That's how competitive friends talk. So I really don't get why Mike decided to frame Kingsman like some evil villain out of nowhere. It honestly feels like a switch up for attention, and that's the part that's hard to ignore. Watching the video back, nothing stood out as some shocking behavior that deserved an expose. The sad reality is that clout can make people do wild things, even turning on friends they've known for years. That part is honestly the most disappointing thing about all of this. At the end of the day, this situation was never that complicated. Kingsman joined a tournament with real money on the line and played like someone who actually wanted to win. That's it. And somehow, that turned into non-stop drama, accusations, and people close to him flipping sides. It feels like people are trying to twist this into something way deeper than it ever needed to be. Sometimes it's really not that serious. So now I want to hear from you guys. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Pick and Roll in the right? Was Mike in the right? Or were they both just chasing clout when things got hot? Either way, their public image definitely took a serious hit from this mess. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share this video, and comment your take down below. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.